Based on the historical data and forecast, Bitcoin has shown a generally upward trend with some volatility. The RSI consistently stays above 40, indicating a bullish momentum. The Bollinger Bands have been widening, suggesting increased volatility and potential for price swings. Considering the support price of $115,100 and the resistance price of $117,300, I recommend a long position strategy. The entry price should be $116,800 on September 17, 2025, coinciding with the forecast price and the upper Bollinger Band. The stop loss should be set at $115,800, just below the support level and the lower Bollinger Band, to limit potential losses. The initial target price should be $118,500, slightly above the forecasted peak and the resistance level. To maximize potential returns, I suggest a trailing stop-loss strategy. Once the price reaches $118,500, move the stop-loss to $117,800, protecting the profits while allowing for further upside. If the price continues to rise, adjust the stop-loss accordingly, maintaining a buffer of $700 below the current price. If the price retraces to $117,100, consider taking partial profits and re-evaluating the market conditions. This combined strategy leverages RSI, Bollinger Bands, and support/resistance levels to optimize both risk and reward. Based on the historical data and forecast, Ethereum shows a mixed trend with recent upward momentum. The price has bounced off the support level of $4,450 and tested the resistance level of $4,700. The RSI values fluctuate around 50, indicating neither extreme overbought or oversold conditions. The Bollinger Bands have been widening recently, suggesting increased volatility. Considering this, I recommend a moderately bullish strategy. We will initiate a long position at $4,510. A stop-loss order will be placed at $4,450 to protect against potential downside risks. The initial target price is set at $4,700, aligning with the resistance level. To refine the strategy, we'll incorporate RSI and Bollinger Band signals. If the RSI drops below 30, indicating an oversold condition, we will enter a long position at $4,500 with a stop-loss at $4,450 and a target price of $4,600. Conversely, if the RSI exceeds 70, indicating an overbought condition, we will consider a short position. If the price touches the upper Bollinger Band, we will short at $4,560 with a stop-loss at $4,600 and a target price of $4,500. Combining these signals, the most efficient portfolio will prioritize the moderately bullish long position at $4,510, aiming for a $4,700 target with a $4,450 stop-loss. Based on the historical data and forecast, XRP shows a generally upward trend, though with some volatility. The RSI fluctuates between 44.6 and 60.8, indicating periods of neither extreme overbought nor oversold conditions. The Bollinger Bands have been widening recently, suggesting increasing market volatility. Considering this, I propose a combined strategy utilizing RSI and Bollinger Bands for optimized returns. We'll initiate a long position when the price touches the lower Bollinger Band and the RSI falls below 40. This condition was not met in the historical data, but the forecast data suggests a potential opportunity on September 17, 2025, when the price is forecasted to be $3.04 and the RSI is likely to fall below 40. The entry price will be $3.04, with a stop-loss set just below the lower Bollinger Band at $2.76. The target price will be set at the upper Bollinger Band, which is forecasted to be around $3.15, yielding a potential profit of $0.11. This strategy combines the momentum signal from the RSI and the volatility indicator from the Bollinger Bands, aiming to capitalize on price dips while limiting potential losses. The strategy can be adjusted based on real-time market conditions and further analysis of the RSI and Bollinger Bands. Based on the historical data and forecast, BNB shows a clear upward trend, supported by consistently rising prices and the Bollinger Bands trending upwards. The RSI fluctuates but generally remains above 50, indicating bullish momentum. Considering the forecast for the next week, with prices predicted to reach $1,010, a long position strategy is highly recommended. We will implement a combined strategy utilizing RSI and Bollinger Bands. The entry price will be $950, coinciding with the start of the forecast period. A stop loss will be set at $933, just below the recent low, to protect against potential pullbacks. The initial target price is $974, aligning with the first forecast price, and will be adjusted upwards to $999 and ultimately $1,010 as the price progresses. The RSI strategy will be used to confirm the trend, looking for dips below 70 to provide additional entry points. The Bollinger Bands will serve as dynamic support and resistance levels. If the price touches the bottom Bollinger Band, it signals a potential buying opportunity. The portfolio will allocate 60% of capital to the initial long position at $950, 20% to a secondary long position if the price retraces to the bottom Bollinger Band around $915, and 20% reserved for a third long position if a favorable RSI signal appears near $65. This diversified approach maximizes potential gains while minimizing risk. Based on the historical data and forecast, Solana exhibits a clear upward trend. The price has consistently moved above the Bollinger Band center line, indicating bullish momentum. The RSI, though fluctuating, has generally been above 50, confirming the uptrend. Considering the forecast data, the price is expected to continue rising, potentially reaching $249. Therefore, I recommend a long position strategy. We will enter a long position at $241. The stop loss should be set just below the support level at $228 to protect against potential pullbacks. The initial target price will be $249, aligning with the forecast. To refine this strategy, we'll incorporate RSI signals. If the RSI falls below 20, oversold, it suggests a potential buying opportunity. Conversely, if it exceeds 80, overbought, it indicates a possible sell signal. However, given the strong upward trend, we will focus primarily on the long position. If the price reaches $249, we can consider taking partial profits and setting a new target price based on the subsequent price action. This combined strategy, leveraging both Bollinger Bands and RSI, should maximize returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, Dogecoin shows a clear upward trend. The price has been consistently moving towards the resistance level of $0.289, with recent forecasts indicating continued upward momentum. The RSI values have generally been increasing, with periods above 60, suggesting strengthening bullish sentiment. Considering these factors, I recommend a long position strategy. We will enter a long position at $0.27, placing a stop-loss order at $0.245 to protect against potential downside risk. The initial target price will be $0.289, coinciding with the resistance level. To refine this strategy, we'll incorporate the Bollinger Bands. The price has been fluctuating within the bands, and when the price touches the lower band, it's a good entry point. If the price is near the upper band, it's a good exit point. Given the recent upward trend and the forecast, we'll adjust the target price to $0.276, based on the forecast data for the next week. This strategy combines trend analysis, RSI signals, and Bollinger Bands to maximize potential returns while managing risk effectively. The entry price is $0.27, the stop-loss price is $0.245, and the target price is $0.276. Based on the historical data and forecast, TRON shows a slight upward trend, bouncing between support and resistance levels. The RSI fluctuates, indicating periods of neither strong overbought nor oversold conditions. The Bollinger Bands show that the price has been approaching the lower band, suggesting a potential for a rebound. Considering the current RSI around 51.0 and the forecast prices hovering around 0.344 to 0.347, I recommend a long position with an entry price of $0.343. Place a stop-loss order at $0.341, right at the support level, to limit potential losses. Set a target price of $0.352, near the recent resistance level, for a reasonable profit. To refine this strategy, we can incorporate the Bollinger Bands. If the price touches the lower band, it's a strong signal to enter a long position. The forecast data suggests a stable price in the short term, so a conservative approach is warranted. This strategy aims for a moderate profit while minimizing risk by utilizing the support and resistance levels and the lower Bollinger Band as key indicators. The potential return on this trade is substantial given the relatively small risk exposure. Based on the historical data and forecast, Cardano exhibits a fluctuating trend with a recent upward bias. The price has been oscillating between a support level of $0.862 and a resistance level of $0.929. The RSI indicator suggests that the asset is currently approaching the middle range, indicating neither overbought nor oversold conditions. The Bollinger Bands have been narrowing, suggesting a period of consolidation before a potential breakout. Given this analysis, I recommend a long position with an entry price of $0.865. A stop loss should be placed just below the support level at $0.855 to mitigate potential downside risk. The initial target price should be set at the recent resistance level of $0.929, aiming for a profit of $0.064. To refine this strategy, we'll incorporate RSI and Bollinger Band signals. If the RSI dips below 20, oversold, a long entry at $0.86 with a stop loss at $0.85 and a target of $0.92 is warranted. Conversely, if the RSI rises above 80, overbought, a short entry at $0.92 with a stop loss at $0.93 and a target of $0.88 is recommended. Considering the forecast data, which predicts a slight downward trend in the short term, I would prioritize the long strategy only if the RSI confirms an oversold condition. The most efficient portfolio would involve a 60% allocation to the long strategy and a 40% allocation to a cash position to capitalize on potential price dips. Based on the historical data and forecast, Chainlink shows a slight upward trend. The price has been fluctuating between the support of $22.2 and the resistance of $25.1. The RSI values indicate that the asset is currently approaching the overbought territory, with the latest reading at 60.2. Considering the Bollinger Bands, the price is near the upper band, suggesting a potential pullback. Therefore, I propose a moderately bullish strategy with an emphasis on risk management. My recommended strategy is to enter a long position at $24.2. Given the proximity to the upper Bollinger Band and the approaching overbought RSI, I'll set a stop loss at $23.5, just below the recent price consolidation level. For the target price, I aim for $25.1, the current resistance level. If the price breaks through this resistance, a further target of $26.9, the upper Bollinger Band, can be considered. This strategy combines the upward trend, RSI, and Bollinger Band signals for a balanced approach with defined risk and reward parameters. Based on the historical data and forecast, Wrapped Beacon ETH shows a general upward trend, although with some volatility. The RSI values have fluctuated between 49.9 and 64.7, indicating periods of both neutral and overbought conditions. The Bollinger Bands have also widened, suggesting increased price volatility. Considering the support price of $4,800 and the recent upward momentum, I recommend a long position strategy. The entry price should be $4,860, coinciding with the forecast price on September 23, 2025, Tuesday. A stop loss should be placed just below the support level at $4,760 to protect against potential downside risks. The target price for this trade will be $4,920, based on the forecast price for September 23, 2025, Tuesday. We will also incorporate the RSI and Bollinger Bands to refine the strategy. If the RSI reaches 80, consider taking partial profits to secure gains. If the price touches the upper Bollinger Band, it indicates a potential overbought condition, suggesting a possible pullback. In this case, consider reducing the position size or setting a trailing stop loss. This combined strategy, utilizing both forecast data and technical indicators, aims to maximize potential returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, Near Protocol demonstrates a slight upward trend, bouncing around the support price of $2.62 and nearing the resistance of $2.81. The RSI fluctuates between 43.5 and 62.7, indicating periods of both oversold and overbought conditions. Considering the forecast prices, which are slightly decreasing, I recommend a moderately bullish strategy. We will implement a combined strategy utilizing RSI and Bollinger Bands. The entry point will be triggered when the RSI falls below 40, indicating an oversold condition, and the price touches the lower Bollinger Band. This suggests a potential rebound. Specifically, on September 23, 2025, when the forecast price is $2.63, the RSI is expected to be below 40 and the price is near the lower Bollinger Band. We initiate a long position at $2.63. The stop loss will be set just below the support price at $2.58 to protect against a potential downside breakout. The initial target price will be the resistance level at $2.81, offering a substantial profit potential. If the price reaches $2.81, we will move the stop loss to the entry price of $2.63 to secure profits and limit potential losses. This combined RSI and Bollinger Band strategy aims to capitalize on short-term price fluctuations while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, Decentraland shows a slight upward trend. The price has been fluctuating within the support level of $0.328 and the resistance level of $0.368. The RSI values have been largely between 50 and 70, indicating neither strong overbought nor oversold conditions. The Bollinger Bands have also been relatively narrow, suggesting low volatility. Considering the forecast prices for the next week, which are hovering around $0.345 to $0.354, I recommend a long position strategy. I propose entering a long position at $0.346. The stop loss should be placed just below the support level at $0.327 to mitigate potential losses if the price reverses. The initial target price is set at $0.354, aligning with the higher end of the forecast range and the recent resistance level. If the price reaches $0.354, we can consider moving the stop loss to break even to protect profits. A secondary target price of $0.368, the previous resistance, can be considered for a more aggressive profit-taking strategy, but it carries higher risk. This strategy combines the upward trend, forecast data, and support/resistance levels for a balanced approach. Based on the historical data and forecast, PancakeSwap shows a slight upward trend with price fluctuating around the $2.5 mark. The RSI values have generally been below 60, indicating that the asset is not consistently overbought. Considering the forecast prices, a conservative approach is warranted. I propose a strategy that combines RSI and Bollinger Band signals, with a focus on capitalizing on minor upward movements while mitigating risk. The entry price will be $2.43, coinciding with the forecast price for September 23, 2025, and a moment when the price is near the lower Bollinger Band. The stop loss will be set at $2.4, just below the support price of $2.46, to protect against a potential downward reversal. The initial target price will be $2.55, aligning with the recent high and providing a reasonable profit margin. If the price reaches $2.55, we will reevaluate the situation. If the price continues to show upward momentum, we can adjust the target price to $2.6, near the resistance level. This strategy combines technical indicators to provide a balanced approach to trading PancakeSwap. Based on the historical data and forecast, BNB shows a clear upward trend, supported by consistently rising prices and the Bollinger Bands trending upwards. The RSI fluctuates but generally remains above 50, indicating bullish momentum. Considering the forecast for the next week, with prices predicted to reach $1,010, a long position strategy is highly recommended. We will implement a combined strategy utilizing RSI and Bollinger Bands. The entry price will be $950, coinciding with the start of the forecast period. A stop loss will be set at $933, just below the recent low, to protect against potential pullbacks. The initial target price is $974, aligning with the first forecast price, and will be adjusted upwards to $999 and ultimately $1,010 as the price progresses. The RSI strategy will be used to confirm the trend, looking for dips below 70 to provide additional entry points. The Bollinger Bands will serve as dynamic support and resistance levels. If the price touches the bottom Bollinger Band, it signals a potential buying opportunity. The portfolio will allocate 60% of capital to the initial long position at $950, 20% to a secondary long position if the price retraces to the bottom Bollinger Band around $915, and 20% reserved for a third long position if a favorable RSI signal appears near $65. This diversified approach maximizes potential gains while minimizing risk. Based on the historical data and forecast, Bonk shows a slightly upward trend with price fluctuations. The support price remains consistently at $0.0000234, while the resistance fluctuates around $0.0000245. The RSI indicates periods of both oversold and overbought conditions, suggesting potential entry and exit points. The Bollinger Bands show volatility, with the price occasionally touching the upper and lower bands. Considering these factors, I propose a strategy combining RSI and Bollinger Bands for optimal returns. The strategy involves entering long positions when the RSI falls below 30, oversold, and the price touches the lower Bollinger Band. For example, if the RSI drops to 28 and the price hits $0.0000189, enter a long position at $0.0000189. Set a stop-loss order at $0.0000184, just below the lower Bollinger Band. The target price would be the resistance level of $0.0000245. If the RSI reaches 75, overbought, and the price touches the upper Bollinger Band, consider taking profits at $0.0000245. This combined approach leverages both momentum and volatility indicators to maximize potential gains while minimizing risk. Based on the historical data and forecast, Optimism shows a slight upward trend. The price has been fluctuating within the range of $0.712 to $0.82. The RSI indicates that the asset is currently neither significantly overbought nor oversold, hovering around 55. The Bollinger Bands suggest that the current price is near the middle band, indicating moderate volatility. Considering these factors, I recommend a long position with an entry price of $0.752. Set a stop-loss order at $0.712, which aligns with the support level, to protect against a potential downside reversal. The initial target price is $0.82, the resistance level, offering a reasonable profit margin. To enhance the strategy, I propose a dynamic adjustment based on the RSI. If the RSI rises above 80, consider taking partial profits and tightening the stop-loss to the middle Bollinger Band. Conversely, if the RSI falls below 20, reduce the position size and reevaluate the trend. The forecast data for the next week indicates a price range between $0.752 and $0.777, supporting the initial long position. Therefore, the final target price should be $0.801, balancing potential gains with risk management. This combined approach leverages both technical indicators and price action to maximize returns while minimizing potential losses. Based on the historical data and forecast, Ether.fi shows a clear upward trend, breaking through the resistance level of $1.57. The RSI consistently moves above 50, indicating positive momentum, with peaks nearing the overbought level of 80. The Bollinger Bands have also widened, confirming increased volatility and a potential for further price increases. Given this bullish outlook, I recommend a long position strategy. We will initiate a long position at $1.48, coinciding with the first day of the forecast period. A stop-loss will be set at $1.44, just below the established support level, to limit potential losses. The initial target price will be $1.56, aligning with the forecast high and a reasonable profit margin. To refine this strategy, we'll incorporate the RSI and Bollinger Band signals. If the RSI dips below 30, signaling an oversold condition, we'll consider adding to our position at $1.44. Conversely, if the price touches the lower Bollinger Band, it suggests a potential buying opportunity. However, if the price reaches the upper Bollinger Band, we will take partial profits at $1.52 and move the stop loss to the center of the Bollinger Band, $1.25, to protect profits and allow for continued upside potential. The final target price remains $1.56, representing a substantial return on investment. Based on the historical data and forecast, Filecoin demonstrates a slight upward trend with periods of consolidation. The RSI consistently fluctuates, but generally remains above 40, indicating neither extreme overbought nor oversold conditions. The Bollinger Bands show that the price has been occasionally touching the upper band, suggesting potential for upward movement. Given the support price of $2.41 and the forecast prices hovering around $2.52 to $2.53, I recommend a long position strategy. We will enter a long position when the price retraces to $2.49. The stop loss will be set at $2.41, just below the support level, to protect against unexpected downturns. The initial target price will be $2.57, aligning with the recent highs and the upper Bollinger Band. To refine the strategy, we will incorporate RSI signals. If the price drops and the RSI reaches below 20, we will enter a long position at $2.45, with a stop loss at $2.38 and a target price of $2.56. Conversely, if the price rises and the RSI exceeds 80, we will consider taking profits or reducing our position. The most efficient portfolio combines these two strategies, prioritizing the initial long position at $2.49 for a balance of risk and reward, and using the RSI-based entry at $2.45 as a secondary opportunity during deeper retracements. This approach capitalizes on the prevailing upward trend while incorporating RSI signals for enhanced precision. Based on the historical data and forecast, Immutable demonstrates a clear upward trend, especially considering the recent price movements and the forecast for the next week. The RSI consistently fluctuates, but the recent values above 60 indicate increasing momentum. The Bollinger Bands have also widened, suggesting increased volatility and potentially a continuation of the upward trend. Therefore, I recommend a long position strategy. We will enter a long position at $0.641, coinciding with the first forecast price. The stop loss will be set slightly below the support level at $0.638 to mitigate potential downside risk. Our initial target price will be $0.678, aligning with the forecast price for September 23, 2025. To refine this strategy, we will incorporate RSI and Bollinger Band signals. If the RSI drops below 30, indicating an oversold condition, we will consider adding to our position at $0.433. Conversely, if the price touches the upper Bollinger Band, indicating an overbought condition, we will consider taking partial profits at $0.691. This adaptive approach allows us to capitalize on short-term fluctuations while maintaining a long-term bullish outlook. The final target price will be $0.721, the resistance level, ensuring a substantial profit margin. Based on the historical data and forecast, Dogwifhat shows an overall upward trend. The RSI values have generally been increasing, fluctuating between 42.7 and 62.9, indicating strengthening momentum. The forecast prices for the next week are relatively stable around $0.924 to $0.930, suggesting a consolidation phase before a potential breakout. Considering the support price of $0.933 and resistance price of $0.964, we should focus on a long position strategy. I recommend entering a long position at $0.924. The stop loss should be placed slightly below the support level at $0.924 to minimize potential losses. The initial target price should be set at $0.964, the resistance level, to secure profits. To refine the strategy, we will integrate the Bollinger Bands and RSI. If the price touches the lower band, which is around $0.728 on September 16, 2025, it indicates an oversold condition, and we can consider entering a long position. If the RSI reaches below 20, it is an oversold condition, and we can consider entering a long position. If the price touches the upper band, which is around $0.984 on September 16, 2025, it indicates an overbought condition, and we can consider entering a short position. If the RSI reaches above 80, it is an overbought condition, and we can consider entering a short position. Combining these indicators, I recommend entering a long position at $0.924 with a stop loss at $0.924 and a target price of $0.964. If the price reaches $0.964, we can consider moving the stop loss to the entry price of $0.924 to secure the profit.